to Go Get That Rose. We're having a chill week here. I am one of your hosts, Sarah. With me is Jay Wade. How you doing, Jay Wade?
I'm doing pretty good. Carl is he's a dick.
Does he count as a villain? Are we counting him as a villain?
I put it on mine. I marked it down as a villain for this week. I mean, I kind of look at it like it's weekly.
Yeah, I figured that could rotate.
Yeah, next week he could still be a villain again, and someone else could be a villain. Hell, one week we could have 6 people who are being assholes and villains and starting stuff. But I am not impressed with Carl, man. I'll tell you. At first, he got on my nerves. But that aside, whatever. Whatever. But the thing that I did like about Carl at first is that he was the only one that was approaching this game for what it is, a competition with a prize to win. He came into it right
We are not prizes. Women are not prizes.
No, I know the prize isn't the woman. The prize is all the money and everything.
They don't get no money.
They ain't get engaged, and they're going to make money after this because they'll start podcasts.
You don't think Katie will get engaged at the end? We haven't really talked about that.
No one ever.
Do you think they'll... Huh?
Maybe out of 40 people who have done this show, or 40 combined seasons, at least, maybe more. How many people, 1, got and actually left the show engaged, and 2, how many people actually got married? Show me the stats, and I will change my tune a little.
There's quite a few. The majority of the shows will end with engagements. Now, do those engagements last? No. The ratio to actual marriage and engagement is quite off of that. But the majority of people will get engaged. They might just break up 4 months later.
So they don't get married. So why should I feel bad about calling it for what it is, which is it's a competition. It's a game show.
Do you think that
real feelings get hurt, and that's what I don't like. I don't like when people like Carl, for example, they're just stirring the pot, and that hurts people.
You think that's what he's doing? You think he's just stirring the pot?
I've not seen or heard anything that he's talking about as far as other men not being there for the right reasons. Maybe I missed.
And he couldn't give names. He couldn't give reasons.
Yeah, I just think he's trying to start drama and trying to make himself. Okay, here it is. He saw completely different situations because evidently Aaron's wasn't made up, but Aaron went to her and called out another guy that he personally knows in the real world and said, this guy, blah, blah, blah. She talked to that guy. She didn't get the vibe he was being honest. He's gone. Then I think Carl, because the whole time he's talking man, I got to step up. I got to do something. I got to get that rose, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, man, if Aaron can be the hero, and she obviously was all about.
And gave him a rose for it.
Then he was like, man, I can be the hero too. And he just.
No, he didn't get a rose. I'm sorry. He didn't get a rose.
Well, but it was clear that she appreciated, him telling her that, and he was like, man, I'm going to piggyback off that. But he's an idiot, and there was no substance.
He did it the wrong way. Yeah.
To base those claims on. It just, See, that kind of stuff pisses me off because there's playing the game, and then there's doing things intentionally that will hurt people and do hurt people. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. Carl. We don't like Carl.
He's a dick.
Yeah. Well, we just kind of jumped into it. But if you're new here, we don't like to recap straight through. We'll just jump all over the place. So join us for the ride. Tonight, we are mainly just going to talk about the show. Mainly because there was no rose ceremony, so we can't give out a special rose to the person who we did not think deserved to go home. And what would the other? Oh, we have something else we haven't introduced yet that we're going to wait. And then we are doing a fantasy league. We decided, Jay is just too far ahead. He's just getting all these points. We're trying to figure out what is happening. Why? Like, dead ass. Like, he is beating us by a lot. But there's certain things that we want to try and rework with our fantasy league that is going to make it less stressful for all of us. So we'll be back.
You want to know the real reason why I'm winning and why I'm winning by so much? Because I based my draft picks off of looks. I
did that too, and apparently I suck at picking good-looking people.
See, but this has got me wondering now. So when it comes around to Bachelor and we have our draft for that, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna more likely than I will always take looks into account over their job and career, but I always weigh the two, you know.
But that's what I did.
Yeah, but now I'm wondering, who will have the better draft when it's a bunch of ladies, us guys, like we did for when it was a bunch of men, or you know, will it be reversed and you and Kaylin will kick our ass in the next season or a Bachelor?
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
But so this is the first time we've done anything like this, and we constructed the point system on our own, and I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew, and we need.
I disagree. I think there's just confusion. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I think everyone's just confused, and we just need to all get together and just be like, this means this. This means this.
Right on.
I think it'll be fine. Honestly. I was going to say something, but yeah, I'm pretty sure by the next rose ceremony, I'm going to be completely out because I don't think any of my guys are going to go far. I only had 2 guys on a group date this week. And you over here, you have Greg and Thomas. Like, you have all the people. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And Trey's made splash so far.
You and Pookie literally got all the guys that are like, I think you had everyone on a group date except for Greg. And then Pookie also had every single person. And then me and Kaylin, I'm the only one that didn't have people on the group date. So
Kaylin only has 3 guys left.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be out. Like, I think one of my guys are going to make it. I'm going to be honest.
We definitely need to hire a fantasy league professional, like a
that just watches it and does it for us.
Well, I mean, to help us figure out the best way to do this, so that we're not so lopsided and all this kind, and like so.
I don't think we're that lopsided. I think we just need to all get together and all go over when someone kisses, do you get points for every single kiss or do you get points for just the person that kisses them? I think if we all just work it out, we didn't really work it out before we started.
Right.
Because we're all just interpreting it. Me and you made up the stuff, so we're on the same page, but Kaylin and Pookie are just reading it, trying to interpret it, like, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's get it. Let's jump back into it. Okay. I'm so tired, so we'll see what we think about. Let's talk about the first group date, which was so stupid.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so over these freaking sex dates. Like, they're so stupid. Who cares? Greatest like, it's making people uncomfortable. It's not, and I've heard other people talking about, like, it's really frustrating that ABC does this with their leads, is that they'll take one thing, and that's about a person, and that's all everything is going to be about. So, like, Claire, that she was the oldest Bachelorette, everything was about that. Or waiting a long time to find someone. Really, it was about Dale. But, and then Katie, her whole thing is she's sex positive. She's brought a dildo.
Understand what that means. I have not met one single person who has a negative thought about sex.
Well, I think sex positive is saying, like, there's still, people still think there's, like, a taboo about, like, women talking about sex openly and not, you know what, and that's not really a thing anymore. Like, that's still an old-fashioned, like, thought that women are, like, I don't talk, like, the fact that she came out and, like, I'm going to use my vibrator is, like, groundbreaking. But I think that's what other people are saying, not her. Like, she's not over here, like, I don't think I've ever heard her say that she was sex positive or that she, whatever. She just said, like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of assumptions that people are putting onto her, and all the guys keep saying it.
I'm just, like, even if someone doesn't talk about sex openly, that doesn't mean that they're not sex positive.
Yeah.
Positive means you're into sex. I don't know anyone who's not into sex other than some folks for religious reasons or whatever the reason. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, just because I don't go around and talk about my sex life, it doesn't mean I'm not sex positive. Doesn't mean I'm not, like, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, like, weird umbrella terms, I guess.
Man.
But I thought the date was just, like, it was weird. I felt really bad. I do want to talk about this. I felt really bad for Mike, the Christian guy. Because I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the first date. He's clearly, like, it was so produced. And they do this all the time. And I see a lot of people pushing back on production, always making the virgins feel uncomfortable and making it such a big deal. And, like, your point, you could tell, like, he was really upset. And was really, and that's not fair for him to have to tell Katie, like, practically be forced into telling Katie that he's a virgin in front of all the guys. Like, that, you're taking his choice away to be able to tell her how he wanted to tell her. And I just thought that was super unfair. I think he did it well.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was happy with the outcome. But I just think it was unfair that they forced him into that situation to begin with.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly why they picked him as one of the guys who won it.
It made me really mad.
See,
like,
and
really.
Dude, and we've talked about this for the last couple of years about production being shady fucks like that. And just like playing with people's emotions and setting them up and stuff like that. And it really is gross, man.
That's a really personal thing. And you're forcing him to go on this date and forcing him to, like, you could tell he was uncomfortable. Like, what's being the greatest lover. And I do like, I guess at first I thought it was going to be a lot more, I don't know, like, sexual than it was, because it really turned out like, well, some of the guys were, but
you've got to also remember that, let's be real, women can say whatever they want as graphic as they want, like they did on Pete's seat. Was it Pete when they all had
Matt James season?
Yes, Matt James season.
Oh, it reminded me of that date, the erotica date, which I didn't really like that either. Like, I felt like that was.
But I mean, men, especially in today's times, imagine how it would go over if they were graphic like that, even on an equal level of the women did on Matt's season, not exceeding that, but just equal to that. There would have been, like, they would have been called disgusting, gross dogs, all this. You know, so I mean, that's why I think they were probably all like, man, I can't go too hard.
Yeah, I did like how he handled it, though. I'm a little conflicted, just because, like, I liked how he took her on stage and he, like, wrote. I don't know what he was reading, but he was, like, reading her something. I guess it was just his thoughts. And I thought it was really sweet, and I thought it was really nice. But I, like, when watching it, I had a lot of, like, mixed feelings. Like, I've said for years, like, being a Christian and raised in the church and raised about, like, purity culture and waiting till marriage. Like, I waited until marriage, and it was a personal decision, not because of, like, religion. And I think that is kind of similar to him. And that's great. Like, that's wonderful. But there was, like, certain things that he was saying where it just kind of struck me like, oh, I remember hearing that, like, when pastors would tell me to save myself. Like, you know what I mean? Just, like, little things that were like, ugh. But I don't think he meant it in that way. I think it's just being around that for so many years, just hearing, like, I forget what he said. He said something like, what kind of mother will you be? And which is fine. Just, like, certain little phrases that I was like, oh, okay. But Katie seemed to really like it. And it did seem like he was trying to say, like, this is a decision that I have made for myself, but like, I respect your decision. Like, it didn't seem like he was like trying to shame her or anything. And I think she really, like, she obviously liked it. She was like crying, and I was crying too. I was like little cringing, but also crying at the same time. But that's just my own personal.
Yeah, of course you were crying, Sarah.
Everyone was crying, and I did like the fact she did say, like, he came here being a virgin and knowing who I am and seeing all the, like, how they're promoting her about being sex positive and stuff like that, and he still decided to come, and how she was like touched by that, and I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah,
and he won.
He was honest more than anything.
Yeah,
more important than anything. He was, I mean, 100% completely open and honest. And like you said, especially to do that in front of a bunch of other people, especially men who are
all the men. Yeah.
For it, just, yeah, man. That dude, yeah, he well-deserved victory there in that competition, in which clearly the single winner of a competition.
No, it doesn't count. Anyway, we're not doing. Yeah, I thought that was really sweet. I don't know. There's a lot more. I don't know. We had the.
Have you ever entered a poetry contest before?
No, I can't write poetry.
Oh, really? I have. Actually,
really?
Called competitions, poetry competitions, and you submit a poem. And in all of those ones that I've done, I've never once seen a poem that was co-written by two people. It was always one person in a poetry competition.
Okay, so what do we think of? Remember how last week I said that Connor B was going to be the top 2, and you're like, no, he's going home next week. That's the guy with the cat. You're right. Like, no, he's. How we feel? Connor's going home. He's for sure not making it. Like, you can tell, like, she is so not into him anymore.
I think that that move, as fun as it was for her and all that, him coming out the way he did in the costume, it put him in the friend zone. I think she probably looks at him more like a brother or a friend, friend kind of a thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that dude's gonna last. He just.
Did you like his song? I thought his song was really cute. No? I wrote down my notes. I wrote down, oh God, Jed. It's Jed. Bring it up for every episode.
It's Jed 2.0, baby.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I was cringing as soon as I saw the
I thought it was so cute.
I was looking on the list. I was like, okay, I know that we've got on there something about a musical guest on a one-on-one date.
Yeah.
I was in there looking like, dude, surely we put on there like you lose points if our guy sings. Even if I had drafted the guy, if my guy sings, Is
that your guy?
For that. No. But even if it were, I would want to lose points for that. Because that was terrible.
Can we talk about when they were making? He was like, I hate it. He was like, I want to redo our kiss from last week. It was so bad. And he's like grabbing her head. People keep pointing out that he's like in her hair. And I'm like, dude, the neck. Like, you put it on the neck. Like, don't go in. It was so bad. And you could tell, like, at that point, she was like, friend zoned. You out.
Yep. Oh, man. So bad.
Yeah, so bad. I'm trying to think. Anything else about that one? I don't think so. We have Thomas, who was on your team, who got the group date, Rose. I have no idea who that man is.
Me neither. And I had no idea that, I don't know. And then I'm still trying to learn these names. You know me and names.
He's giving me villain vibes.
Man, I hope not. I don't want to lose points because he turns into an a-hole.
Did you see it when they ran up? It was him and Carl when they ran up for the date. He, like, ran in, swooped her, and she, like, jumped and put her legs around him.
Yeah. Sorry, you got choppy there.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I know. No. Yeah. You know what? Do you know what I just said?
No. Oh yeah,
You know
you were
what
talking.
Oh.
She wrapped her legs around the guy.
About Tom? Okay, moving on. Doesn't matter.
You got your video camera and your audio got choppy and
I
stuff.
know.
And so,
Is it still choppy?
I don't know, but you should have your husband buy you a pro setup there, like a professional setup.
Yeah, you're right.
And hire you an engineer who can sit there in the room with you and run everything for you and work out any issues that you have. Dude, that would be awesome.
Is that what you have? Do you have an engineer? Oh.
No, I am my own engineer.
I have someone that sits in the room with me. My dog. Oh. She's chilling.
Oh, pull her up by the collar so we can
Come
see her
here.
face. I'm kidding.
This is dead air. This is bad. Okay, anyway. Let's talk about Greg. Let's talk about Greg.
Now remind me which one's Greg, because you know me in names. I'm not going to remember.
Greg is also on your team. Greg is the one that got the first impression rose last week and the one-on-one date this week.
Yeah, the potato chip guy. Just call him potato chip guy or potatoes. Okay. Potato or chips.
Potato.
Call him chips. Chips. There he is. There.
Chips.
And I'll know exactly
Chips.
what I'm talking about.
He reminds me of Ben from Tasha season. I don't remember the name we gave Ben. I feel like you either really like chips or oh, just you wait.
This is This is a viewer from my Schmodown Sports Talk show.
Do you just yell on the other show?
Yeah, I'm pretty hyper and I get out of hand and I've got a lot of really super hot takes and shit. But
no, you got a lot of hot takes here too. So
yeah, but I'm a little more chill here.
Okay, so I feel like people either really like people either really like Greg or they don't like Greg, and I am on the don't like Greg. Chips. I'm indifferent. I think I'll just say it. I mean, I think he looks kind of like a douchebag, but you know, whatever. He really does. He just comes off really weird to me. It just seems like she is way more into him than he is into her.
Right.
She's so into him.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not for me to get. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm not there. I'm not her. I don't know what she's looking for in a guy that
he just looks like your typical douchey guy.
Hey, I don't know you. I just met you 30 days ago. Will you marry me?
You can't criticize the show when we're recapping.
But I mean, come on, man. These people.
But okay, so I'm going back to Greg. So Greg literally looks like Pilot Pete,
yes,
Nick Viall, Ben. Like he looks like every Bachelor. Ben, like he looks typical.
Dude, Sarah, why can't we get a real, genuine, average person as a Bachelor or a Bachelorette?
I don't know.
And on this note, everybody go out there right now, including you, Ryan. Tweet out hashtag Jay Wade for Bachelor because fat guys deserve love too. Because man, I'll tell you what, it just kills me. There was some really good, honest discussion on this show that we don't normally see, like about family and what people desire
family.
And in the future kind of talk that we don't really get a lot of that kind of stuff. But you know, it kills me because we don't get the real talk. Dude, guys, if I were on there, we would have the real talk. Like, does she like Star Wars? Does she like music? What kind of music? What are her favorite hobbies? Does she like fishing? Does she like NASCAR? That could be a deal breaker depending on whether or not she's a Jeff Gordon fan. But you know, they need average guys. That, and they talk about it being inclusive. Include real average normal people, man.
Amen.
Instead of that stereotype, like you just said, the average guy that always is on this show. It's terrible. So hashtag Jay Wade for Bachelor because fat guys deserve love too.
You're right. Okay. Absolutely. No, you're right. Yeah, it is frustrating.
Because I'm going bald and I got a little and I got a little patch of hair here that won't grow in my beard, and and I'm a big guy, I'm not a super hot stud. What, I don't deserve 30 chicks to pick from, like I'm in a candy store. What's wrong with
This
that?
is going off the rails. This is going off the rails.
Sorry, I'm just saying, man. Let's be all inclusive if we're talking about being inclusive.
Okay. So, did you know that Greg and Chips and Carl were originally casted on Claire's season of The Bachelor?
No, I had no idea.
I did not know that either until I listened to a podcast. There's a couple other ones that were originally on their cast list and they got kicked off. And now they're on Katie's, which is kind of funny when they come up and they're like, I was here for you. I came here for you. No, you didn't. You were on Claire's season.
Yeah, well, it was like that douchebag who was like all pining over Claire, like just pining over Claire. And then when
Jason or Blake?
Amen. Then all of a sudden he's all about Tayshia and like, oh, you're the one I'm here.
Guess who's showing up to Katie's season?
Had no idea that Tayshia was going to even be there, but like, man, this is great. I'm really into you. I'm here for you. It's like, no, you weren't. You were here for Claire, who you still didn't even know anything about. And now this other girl comes in who you didn't do any background info on because you don't know anything about her. She was going to be there.
They should just bring a different Bachelorette in halfway through the season every time just to kind of like switch up the guys.
Dude, I honestly
I
honestly wouldn't be opposed to that because Claire's little, 6-8 episode season, that actually...
Claire's episodes was like 3 episodes.
Well, even better. Then maybe they should just speed through it like that. Have 30 dudes and then have maybe 2 or 3 bachelorettes per each group of 30 dudes. And you don't bring in new ones, but whenever a chick... she eliminates and then she picks her guy and then they go off. Then a new girl comes in and she goes out with the dudes who are left.
So the leftovers, the girl gets the leftovers. That's no.
Who's to say that they're leftovers? They're just because there's someone else's.
But what if someone else that gets all the way up was meant to be with the new Bachelorette?
So what? It's a game, dude. It's a competition.
It's not a game. It's not a game. These are people's emotions. This is what will get you sent home night 1. It's not a game. That's why Carl is wrong.
But it is a competition, though.
It's not a competition.
Dude, they compete for her, and there is one clear winner at the end. It is a competition. They have physical competitions. They have mental competitions. The whole thing is about 30 people competing against each other to be the one person.
All they gotta do is show up, and she makes the decisions. They're not competing.
They're not. See those cowboys wrestling in that mud?
No, okay, that's separate. That is a competition within the I almost said the game. Okay, fine. It is a game. It is a competition, but not in the sense that you take it.
Well, I know, and that's why I'm saying, when people intentionally...
These people really do fall in love, okay, Jay?
Don't, dude. No,
yes, they do. Yes, they do. How can you sit there and tell them that it's not real when they have people that it's real?
Know them. They don't know them.
Okay.
30 days of
they get to know them.
For what? I want to know an accumulated amount of time that
you just take a leap of faith. You just...
What? So after 30 days, you spend 35, 40 minutes, maybe an hour and a half total with this person if you don't get any of the one-on-one dates. And you're telling me that after
you get more than that. You get more than that.
3 days.
Okay, let's say you get at least 3 days.
Time out of 30 days that you get to know someone and you can tell me.
You want to know what? I would have married Nick the day after our first date. Hands down.
Long? You say this all the time, and then I get you right back with this question. How long did you know Nick before you went on your first date?
I knew of Nick for 2 years.
How long did you know him?
Friends?
No, like you knew him. You had interacted. You knew each other. He could be like, yeah, you're Sarah. You're like, yeah, you're Nick.
2 years.
Exactly my point. We're
But that's different.
3 days here. 3 days.
I would have married anyone. Let's be honest.
Oh man, you're worse than I am, Sarah. Only as far as being a hopeless romantic, the only difference is you actually got married. But that's okay, because now at this point in my life, I don't want a wife. I would love to have kids. Like I got a bunch of chores and shit that I need done. So that But
yeah.
But no, but speaking of that beefcake cowboy mud wrestling.
Yeah. Wait, we didn't even talk about Greg. I just want to say their date. I just want to say the date was really pretty. The mountains are beautiful. It looked like a picture. I don't ever really want to be out in the mountains, but that kind of sold me on it. It felt like it was an opportunity for Katie to open up and get to know her more and be emotional about her dad. I felt like Greg was just not into her and kept saying the right things because she was like, there's a point where she was trying to explain, like, yeah, I used to come out and do this with my dad. He passed away, blah, blah, blah. And you could tell Greg was just giving, when, like, you're on autopilot and you're just giving that response, like, yeah, oh, yeah. But, like, you're not really listening. That's exactly what he was doing. Like, he was giving her responses like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, this girl is telling you that she lost her father. She's tearing up. She's getting emotional. And you're just like, yeah. And then we find out later, he tells her, like, my dad also passed away, like, recently, and it was a shock, and starts crying and breaking down out of nowhere, which maybe it's editing. It just felt so, like, manipulative to me. Like, everything just feels so rehearsed, so he knows what he wants to do, what he wants to say. Apparently, he's an actor, I read somewhere. So that makes sense.
Yeah, like, it's like he used his father's death to gain leverage and favor.
To, like, connect with her, yeah.
And it's like that dude who was using his kids and shit that one season and always bringing up his kids and shit. And I'm like, dude, stop using your family as props and shit like that, man. I can't stand that.
It wouldn't have felt that way to me if he didn't do it later in the date. You know what I mean? Like, if he would have said when she was crying, like, yeah, I know how you feel. I also lost my dad. And I know a lot of people, I heard other people saying, like, on a podcast saying, like, well, he wanted to give Katie her chance to share and her, like, didn't want to kind of make it about him. Which, okay, maybe I haven't lost a parent, so I don't know. I don't have that kind of, like, I can't really connect on that level, so maybe that is what he was trying to do. But to me, like, it just felt like you would have thought maybe you would have said, like, hey, I understand. Like, I can relate. Yeah, just quit, but not make it about you, not, like, share his part, but just kind of be like, yeah, I understand. It would just felt like suddenly he's now crying and being upset about his own dad's passing. But again, I've never been in that situation. I don't know how I would handle it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come out and say, like, yeah, he was being super manipulative, but it just felt odd to me that was how it was presented.
It seems to me a good way to handle that in the moment would have been, my father passed recently as well, so I understand a little bit about where you're coming from. Leave it at that and let her engage you furthermore about it.
Yeah,
finding out more.
Like, tell me more about your dad, or like giving her the setup to, instead of just maybe it's just the way it was edited too. I don't know. It just felt weird.
Like they're like a steamroller and just like, all this like emotion at once, like a steamroller just rolling. And I'm like, yo, where is
the whole day he was fine, and then we get to the night part and he's like getting choked up and emotional that his dad also took him fishing and also did all this stuff, that when Katie mentioned it earlier, he was just like, yeah, like, and it didn't seem like he was trying not to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed weird. Like, it seemed really off. Like, now he's like, oh, now I can relate back to this now. Like, he was just bringing up stuff from earlier that you think, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into it. It just came off really weird to me. He just always seems so practiced and rehearsed and like trying to be the awkward shy kid. I don't know. And
I don't
yeah.
His hair looks too pretty boy for me.
It's really weird. Like, it needs a floof or something. Like, it's like Justin Bieber, but not, I don't know. It's like
weird, Sarah. It's really
weird. Okay. Mud wrestling.
Beefcake cowboy mud wrestling.
Why? I mean, okay, but why?
Well, my question is, when are they going to have the girls strip down and do?
They had the girls do lingerie pillow fights. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we were like,
I don't like it either way. I don't like things like this that are intentionally meant to sexualize anyone, male or female. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. But.
I thought that was really weird that they had Tasha and Caitlyn run through and wake up the men.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get it. Did you think that was weird? Like, these are like grown-ass men. They're running in there, like, they're coming out in their underwear. Like, if we're all about sex positive, like, morning wood is a serious thing. Like, you would be so embarrassed. Like, oh, these two beautiful women are running in, and they're both engaged. Like, right. And they're waking me up, and like, you know, it just was like, I would be so uncomfortable. Like,
sexualizing the men, you know, get them
just,
all out.
It was just like, oh, you're gonna, like, it was really weird. Then they're out there, they got them wearing the cowboy with the hats and stuff, and they're mud wrestling. And all because we're just trying to get to the Aaron and Cody tension,
right?
Which they kept bringing up, and I feel like the producers probably tipped it off because they were just wrestling, and they were like, "There's so much tension between them," and I was like, "They're just wrestling. What do you mean?"
So they brought it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
notice
someone must have brought it up.
Yeah, and then that's kind of, you know what, you can never ever have true reality TV. Never will it happen.
No,
it will always be something played up or scripted out or set up. But you know,
because the only reason Aaron won was so that he could talk to Katie and start this whole drama. It wasn't because he did the best.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I did like how they had some of the really skinny guys team up with like the bigger guys, and they were like all joking about like, he's gonna snap me in half. I thought that was
yeah.
That was cute.
Did you like this one more than the fighting one? Because remember when they
boxing
had match and you liked the Asian fellow with the ponytail?
Oh, Joe, Dr. Joe, who is going to be on Paradise, I think.
Oh, you think? Oh.
I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure he's on Paradise. They're filming right now, so I'm pretty sure he's there.
That'll be awesome. Paradise.
He's a fan favorite. He better be there. I'm a riot.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not a big like mud wrestling girl. Like straight boxing. I like regular wrestling, like that kind of wrestling. The mud for me, I'm just like, ew, it's dirty and cold. Like, ew. Like, no. But let me like see them actually wrestle, or like the boxing that was a lot. They were hurting each other. I don't know how I felt about that one. Or when they made the girls do it. Did they make the girls box and like Serena P got punched in the head?
And then they stopped it?
Yeah, Matt James is like, okay, that's enough. He's like, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that. But, guys, ugh.
Yeah, Aaron, and we still didn't really learn much about that whole thing. Was really weird.
Yeah, it was. There's no context to that whatsoever. It just literally came out of nowhere.
He's like, I know Cody from back home. He's really malicious, and he's here for the wrong reasons. And Katie, I mean, to be fair, Cody did not help himself because Katie was like, this is what Aaron said about you. And he was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just like real chill. I'm like, dude. He was like, I didn't want to lose my cool. Well, you should have, because it just looked like you were lying. Like, you
now,
looked
do you
passive.
Or do you think Aaron was lying, or do you think Aaron was half true?
I think Aaron was right. I think Aaron might have exaggerated, and like I think Aaron was strategic with bringing up it to Cody. But, I mean, Cody did not help himself at all. Like, he literally looked like a deer in the headlights, like, looked like he got caught. Like,
yeah.
And even when she was like, Aaron said you're here to get famous, he just went, like, he couldn't say anything. And she's like, is that true? And he was like, what? Like, he couldn't defend himself. So, like... Yeah.
When you can't answer a question, then that's pretty telling as to what the answer is.
I mean, and Carl kept doing the same thing, like we said. I guess, because Carl, like, and on his group date, he sat down with Katie and was like, oh, when was your last relationship? And she said, oh, 2 years ago. And he said, oh, me too. And she was like, oh, why did it end? And he's like, we're not focusing about the past. We're focusing about the future. We're focusing on me and you. And I'm like, that is a red flag. Like, are you? And then even with he was like, there are men here that are not here for the right reasons. Am I 100% in my opinion? And she's like, okay, give me. I really like that Katie, like, was like, okay, give me examples and names. And he was like, well, I can't give you that. Like, let's not worry about that. I don't want you to worry about that. And she's like, well, you brought it up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and I like that she said, like, I don't know these men enough to know if they're all here for the right reasons, but I also don't know Carl enough to know if he's just if he's just trying to play and get people out. Like, I like that she didn't just take his word for it like other leads. But I didn't like how she goes out, does her whole speech, and is like, you can get the fuck out, there's a door, blah, 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 whatever. Which, I mean, it must be frustrating and it must be scary I'm sure that is a big fear of people that, like, half these people, I mean, everyone, wrong reasons, right reasons, whatever, like, people have admit, they just go on the show for, like, the vacation and like, all that stuff. And if it works out, it works out, but really, what's the chances, like you're always saying, like, what's the chance of it? And I'm sure, like, it is scary. She had the whole speech, and then she takes Aaron, and she's like, Aaron, can we go talk? And Aaron goes, what? Like, really loud, which was kind of a red flag, like, kind of ticked me off, because I was like, dude, like, calm down, because you could tell he was like, what did I do? Like, why me? Like, what did I do wrong? And she's like, I just want to talk.
Yeah.
And
nervous.
Yeah, I was like, oh, guilty conscious? Like, why are you freaking out? Like, calm down. Then they start talking. I immediately was like, oh, he's friend zoned. Like, he is such in the friend zone. Oh. Like, she just wanted to talk to him about the drama. Like, I was like, this is a bad sign for you, buddy. Like,
he is definitely in the friend zone. Just like Catboy.
Catboy, just best friends.
Yep.
But yeah, that another thing I want to bring up, just purely for myself, is that a lot of people have been criticizing Katie's fashion so far, and I don't know. The show does have like a stylist, but people are saying that it seems like Katie doesn't really have like good fashion, which I feel really bad. But I think her fashion is just like comfortable and whatever. The biggest thing for me, and probably only me, is she's wearing this really cute green dress at the cocktail party. But her makeup matches the dress. That is rule number 1, Katie. You do not match your eyeshadow makeup color to the same outfit that you are wearing. That is a big mistake. It was literally green and green. You don't do that. It's a no-no. She could have had like a purple or like a brown or like something, but not literally the same thing. I was like, I don't know. She did her makeup.
I'll take your word for it.
Am I the only one that noticed it? It just really irked me. I was like, you don't ever match your makeup. That's 101. Makeup rule number 1. Like, you don't.
Always went with black. It goes with everything. So
yes. Yeah. She could have like a black cat, like smoky eye or something. It was literally the same. It just really threw me off. That's my biggest issue with the episode. I'm going to be honest.
Fair point.
Yeah. And then it was a cliffhanger, which I was like, are you kidding me? Like, we're really going to end it? I don't like it when they do this so early, where they end it, like, early in the season, that we don't get a rose ceremony.
Right. Do you think she's going to end up having the rose ceremony while she's pissed, or is she gonna
Yes.
postpone it?
She tweeted out she tweeted or Bachelor or something. There was like 2 tweets saying, I know it's frustrating not to have a rose ceremony, but it's going to be worth the wait. Next week something is going to be a first that's never happened during the rose ceremony, which I think means that she's going to send someone home that already has a rose.
Oh,
but
wow.
I think she's sending Aaron home. I think she's just going to... Oh, Aaron doesn't have a rose. Crap. Never mind.
Oh, huh.
Never mind. I keep thinking Aaron has a rose. Then I don't know what that means. You're going to send everyone home or everyone's staying? Maybe everyone's staying.
I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. Because, so I think my top 2, there's my doggo. My top 2 choices, since clearly none of my men are going to make it to the end, are Greg, but I don't think Greg wins, and Andrew S. I think she's going to end up with Andrew S. The accent guy, the football guy.
Right on.
He's really cute. I really like him.
Yeah, I liked how he came in with the accent and all that. But I mean, I just really want to see Carl get his ass kicked out the door.
Yo, they were so mad.
Dude, he's a dickhead, man.
He messed up. Especially, when they were all getting mad, he was like, "It was me." It reminded me of Noah. Remember, there's something that happened with Noah where he was like, he told her that there were things for the people not there for the right reasons.
Right.
Yeah, same thing. Only this guy Carl has Noah. They were going after him. Aaron was so angry.
Oh yeah. And it's funny, they're sitting, somebody needs to fess up to this, and he's just like, he has that look like, man, I do not want to admit this was
No. Yeah, obviously they're mad. Oh, we just... All right, well, so tired. Do you have anything else left on this episode?
No, I'm good. I just want to see next week, see what happens with Carl, and if there's a first to happen, then I'm interested in seeing what that is. But
yeah, I have no idea. It would have to be like she doesn't send anyone home, she sends someone home, and then gives them a rose. I don't know, because there's no, Greg, Andrew S., and Thomas all have roses. There's no way she's taking roses back from any of them. I keep thinking it was Aaron, but it's not. So it's not going to be that. I don't know.
I don't know either.
They just don't have a rose ceremony? No, they've done that. Chris Harrison shows up.
Yeah, but that would be a shocker to be.
He's like, I'm taking this place back. I want my spot back. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's going to be the end for us here. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks for putting up with me as I ramble my way through this entire show. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday. Oh God. Until next Tuesday, Jay Wade, where can the people follow you?
Y'all can follow me to my house as long as you have favors. And you're not crazy. But
bring
no,
snacks.
Snacks. That'll do that. Yes, that would
Snaps
go
and alcohol.
Yeah. At JWade1134, the letter J, WADE 1134 on the Twitter. Also, follow the JCast Network here. Hit that subscribe button, and on your podcasting platforms. We have other shows on here as well. We have a show where we talk about Star Wars and a sports talk show that is on Saturday afternoons. So check all those out, as well as I'll let Sarah plug the Loki show.
Yes, you can follow me on my Twitter, SCBock. It's spelt right here, and then SSEABOCK, and then you can follow the show's Twitter at Go Get That Rose. And I also am currently hosting the Loki recap show for Oh What a Marvel on the Merc with a Movie blog feed. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited for episode 2 to see where the show goes. I have my work cut out for me trying to control Sean, Jay, and Dean all at once. So if you want to come and see the chaos and me trying my best to keep everyone on track, go and check that show out. Until next time, until next week, have a safe week. I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed. Good night. Have a great night. Bye.